Good afternoon. How are you all doing? Happy Wednesday, everybody. Afternoon, Marco, Soul Trader. Who we got else here? Robert, Fletch, how we doing? Markets are open. Let's go over to the right terminal. It's a huge collapse this morning, or rather on the Dow. There's a huge collapse going on. Nasdaq's flying through the roof, though. So go figure. But yeah, it's a big move at the open. So I'm not actually sure I'm going to get any trades on today because that is a big move at the moment. So we'll see if we get a trade on that. We'll have a look at the news to start off with, as usual. It's obviously Wednesday today. We've had the New Zealand dollar rate out this morning. They put in a 2.5 on the forecast of 2.75. So not something that is the norm in any way, shape or form. As you can see, typically we do not get a deviation every now and again, but normally you don't get a deviation on forecasts from New Zealand, but they have today. So big bearish move on New Zealand dollar. So if we look at those, first of all, obviously the market was not expecting that at all. It is pulling back quite a bit, I have to say, which is quite unusual. Let me just get rid of that, sorry. For it to be pulling back that far, I think, off of a news event like that. Typically you'd see quite a much bigger move, but I think there's a good opportunity to get in short on New Zealand dollar on this pullback. All doing the same thing. Swissy's actually now recouped the entire move. The yen is as well, because the yen's obviously weak at the moment. But no reason why these shouldn't continue to do what they're doing. Aussie, New Zealand, a big spike up there, pullback, continuation play. So there's obviously a few ADRs today on those New Zealand pairs, Aussie, New Zealand, Euro, New Zealand, Pound, New Zealand, etc., etc. So opportunities on all of those. There's a gap up there on the Pound, New Zealand as well. So, yeah, opportunity for continuation longs. If you look at something like the Pound New Zealand, that's already done a 61.8. Looking like it's ready to go, isn't it, for a long there. But, yeah, so that's the main news today. Was not expecting that at all. 2.5%. They're really coming down fast and hard on that. The other news, we had Ueda speaking this morning. It's the FOMC meeting minutes this evening, potentially. I'm not even sure if they're going to go ahead because of what's going on with the shutdown and everything. We've got Lagarde speaking later as well. So that either will or won't go ahead. I don't think there'll be anything particularly exciting in there. You never know. But if it does come out, obviously just be aware of volatility at 7 o'clock this evening for the dollar. If we just quickly whiz through this morning's news, you see there's not really anything that's come in today at all. If we get back to New Zealand, where are we? Back here somewhere. There we go. So that's the New Zealand rate coming out. There was nothing to back up this extra drop in here, really. Upside and downside risk to inflation outlook in doesn't make any sense, is it? But basically, the inflation is expected to return back down to that 2% target at some point early next year. So what they're forecasting is that they're going to be early next year back down to 2%. So obviously what they want to do is get their interest rates down to 2% as fast as possible. So once every quarter, basically, they're looking to drop the rates. So they've had to go that little bit extra, I think, because they're expecting that inflation to drop. But whether it does, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, that's what they've done. So weakness in the New Zealand dollar moving forward. No other news today unless FOMC comes off. Look at that Nasdaq, Dow. So Dow, no trade on the Dow today. Range is far too big to trade. The problem with that trade there is if you take it, I mean, if you have taken it, fine. But if you look at the average daily range for the last few days, yeah, that sort of movement, you've already done 50% of that move in one candle. So the chances of you getting a 2R on that means it needs to do 120% of its average daily range. So as long as it goes over ADR, you have an opportunity for 2R reward. If it doesn't go over ADR, you're not going to get the risk reward ratio on it. So it's just not worth taking the trade, really. So hence, obviously, the filter for 40%. It's a massive move, though, isn't it? So trade will go on the NASDAQ. The DAX this morning was beautiful. Really nice move on the DAX today. So that was your ORB this morning. The 5-minute range break. It's actually a 10-minute range break, I think, this morning. We broke high up to target. Partial was, I think, there. And then we're continuing. So it's lovely big trendy day today on the DAX. So we're out obviously into new high territory, so just trailing the rest of it. But yeah, lovely break this morning on the DAX. So we'll see where we go. Looks like the NASDAQ wants to try and break long. And not quite. So this morning in the members streams, we covered, I haven't marked my progress, better do that. We covered indicator types, what they are telling you. So it's quite a long session this morning, an hour and a quarter. We went over all the different indicator types that you need for different strategies, how to set them up, how not to curve fit them, all that sort of stuff. So if you're interested, that is worth a watch if you're a member. And then on Friday, we're going to be doing this, which is going to be exciting. So 10 steps to building your own strategy. So basically this kind of is designed, this lesson on Friday, to bring everything together that we've covered in the whole 101 section. All of this stuff all comes together into how to build your own strategy, basically, which is kind of what you need to know. Obviously, if you want to trade, you need a strategy. So we need to know how to build them, don't we? There we go. So that's what we're going to cover. Let's have a quick look at what that currency strength is doing as well for the New Zealand dollar. I think I know, but on the hourly, that's probably recovered. Yeah, very strong. Look at that. So this very odd move. This when you get an unexpected interest rate change, typically you tend to see that happen. This has done kind of a mean reversion on it. So quite why they've reverted so much of that when we've actually dropped the interest rates. I can only think that there's not a lot of positioning on the New Zealand dollar for some reason. But if we've got the last 10 years, I haven't got that far back. When was the last time they did this? August the 14th, 24 and April 23. So we look at April 23. Let's try a 4-hour chart, see if we can get back that far. August 24. No, haven't got data going back that far, unfortunately. So that's, yeah, so yeah, that was the August 14th one. So big bearish move. Yeah, look at that, actually. Look at this. This is the New Zealand dollar all over, isn't it? Huge unexpected bear move followed by a complete march in the opposite direction. This is a 4-hour chart. So basically we had a 4-hour push down, sideways for a day or so, took off in completely the opposite direction. That's New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Might actually be worth looking at the Aussie, New Zealand. Yeah, so big push up, Australian dollar, obviously, against New Zealand dropping. Then it did revert. So yeah, it's not the first time it's done this, is it? Interesting move. I can go back further on daily time frame. I should hopefully be able to get back to 2023. Yes. Okay, so this is a daily chart of that bullish move of the New Zealand dollar. So obviously we had a drop down, Aussie New Zealand, and then reverted the opposite direction. So this is actually quite typical of the New Zealand dollar, isn't it? So in fact, possibly not the best thing to do mean reversion on today. Continuation move on today. So if we're going to go back and look at the last 2 times they didn't do what they said on interest rates, what we actually got was a directional move in the direction we would expect it to go. So bearish New Zealand dollar, obviously bullish pound New Zealand dollar, but then a complete reversal back in the opposite direction. a trait of the New Zealand dollar. It's one of the things this charting system is really good for, is actually identifying these trends. So the last 2 times we've had an unexpected result, it's actually gone completely the opposite way to what you would expect it to. So if that's going to happen again, you want to actually be longing the New Zealand dollar. Weird. Anyway, broken out to the upside on NASDAQ, is pulling back inside range. RSIs today. So those are all your ADRs. Obviously, most of your ADRs are based on the New Zealand dollar. The CAD Swiss and the CAD Yen have also been on the move today. So big push up on CAD Swiss and on the CAD Yen. So the Swiss and the Yen not having good days today across the board, really. So as you can see, everything's sort of pushing against the Swiss and the Yen. So it's kind of pulling out of safe havens by the looks of things. Pound Yen is also an ADR straight up to the upside. So that's a nice reversion there. M5 reversal alert at ADR today. There's your ADR. There's your reversal alert. That one worked out nicely. So there's quite a few of those. But as I said, it's all New Zealand yen today. Always tricky, but these all would have worked out quite nicely. But I mean, you wouldn't want to really mean revert a drop in interest rates that's unexpected, would you? So it's not a trade I took or would want to take, mean reverting against a move like that, but it has been reverted. So the question is, how'd you get into it? If you think it was a continuation on weakness on New Zealand, now is the short. Other than that, it's kind of looking for it to pull back and continue back to origin, isn't it? Which is a counterintuitive move. So if in doubt, stay out. That's what I'll be doing. RSI, Aussie New Zealand, massive push Aussie New Zealand today to the upside there. So RSI extension, sorry, that's ADR. You're not selecting my RSI. I was going to say, that's not an RSI extension. It was an RSI extension on the hourly. Aussie dollar yen, 4 hours we're looking at. This is a continuation of this move against the yen. I'm short on the CAD yen at the moment. This gap up with this president, prime minister change thing, huge continuation move in weakness on the yen. It doesn't seem to be stopping. So CAD yen, I'm short on this with a couple of positions at the moment. Swiss yen, that's starting to look like a 3-bar reversal forming at the highs. Push up there. So there's potential when that reversal alert goes in of a potential reversal on the Swiss yen, but the rest of them absolutely flying still. Euro still going. There is a bit of a shooting star going in on the euro as well. So it is potentially starting to weaken. We'll see. Pound yen, again, nice big upside wick. It's not as good on the US dollar yen, but we are starting to see that rejection coming in. We did see it earlier on as well today, but we'll see. But those are your RSI extensions, all 4 hours. Euro US dollar has also hit a 4-hour RSI extension to the downside. So there is potential for a long opportunity there. That's a beautiful monthly low bounce. Look, out of propulsion. Yeah, good test up into there. Potential continuation back down. But that looks pretty good. Euro US dollar for longs. You've also got the euro pound extended on the 4-hour. Not a great level. Not bad, but potentially push back up into propulsion. If not, second option is coming back down for a second entry in there. Euro CAD. Pound Swiss just hit ADR, so more weakness in the Swiss franc. That I'd rather see down there. Obvious double weekly low. CAD Swiss 125, so this Swiss franc's getting hammered. So further continuation against the Swiss franc. Everything pushing up against the Swissy. Quite strong push actually. Let's just check the news. No. Market just selling off the Swiss quite aggressively. Again, continued shorting on that Swiss franc. So that New Zealand Swiss now back to origin. Big move today. Exciting. Right. So just putting back up inside there on the Dow. No trades on that today. It's far too big a move. But nicely long on the NASDAQ. So upside NASDAQ targets today. Easy peasy. So there's the partial close for 2R for me. There's yesterday's high and the previous day's high. So easy reach today there. You've got this, not even really an accumulation, is it? One bar, basically. One green bar in that entire move, look. So we started breaking down there. We had one green bar all the way down to there. So there is literally no reason for this to stop until we get to here. But I wouldn't even call that an accumulation. It's one candle. So that really low here and that high is your potential resistance turn support, which we broke through. We've tested it again and came down. So that's where I would be watching today for a potential bounce, which is just shy of my partial. So, but yesterday's high. So that is assuming obviously we are going to break long today. Obviously it might just collapse down into rotation, but we'll see. Good moves. DAX is pulling back. That looks like it's going to stop out. It's going to pull back up into that low. So this propulsion gap here that we've put in, which we retested, is being tested again. So it's either going to hold or it's not. Nice head and shoulders pattern forming. We've broken the neckline. So watch this area here for a continuation. There we go. Afternoon, Mimo. Afternoon, WasCheck. How are we doing? Anybody got any pairs they want to look at specifically today? Everything else is kind of obvious today. It's all about the New Zealand dollar, the yen and the Swiss. And specifically this yen. I don't know when this yen's going to slow down, or rather rally. But market doesn't like gaps. So we need some movement back down, don't we? But the trouble is, this looks like a fundamental shift to me. I'm not quite sure what the policy change is in Japan that they're planning, but it obviously doesn't look good from an economic perspective. So markets are really selling that yen off. So we need some kind of catalyst to try and drive that back. But whether it comes or not, I don't know. Not even the New Zealand dollar could do that today, could it? Dropping the interest rate. So there you go. So there's a nice rejection going in on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. That could potentially be if we are going to continue short. But like I've just shown, last couple of times we've changed interest rates. Not been the case, has it? So drop on the interest rate and then rally back in the opposite direction. Very bizarre. There was a continuation in the New Zealand dollar yen. No, there wasn't actually. It took a while, didn't it? It took a week or so to pull back, but who knows? Okay, pulling back slightly on the NASDAQ. Just pulling an inside bar at the moment. We are higher highs though, and higher lows all the way, apart from this one candle. Rebuying this low on the DAX. All looking good. Right, no one's got anything else to look at. Well, this is going to be a dull afternoon, isn't it? Watching paint dry afternoon today. So if you were in the live room this morning for the members, I've gone down a rabbit hole today, which I tend to do with this 3-bar reversal indicator that I've been building. I've gone mad. I've decided to build a complete support and resistance system into it as well, which I didn't intend to do, but I have. So this basically now identifies support resistance levels and trades 3-bar reversals at support and resistance, which is fun. But I've got a few bugs I've got to fix with it. But yeah, looking pretty good. Multiple TP levels, all adjustable. But I've just realised I've introduced some fancy bugs which I've got to fix now. So yeah, what was going to be a very simple thing that we covered in the members stream has turned into an almighty monster. So yeah, I'll see where this goes, but I wanted to try and build something that can easily identify support resistance zones and multiple touches. So this is basically saying we've got a resistance zone here that we've tested 4 times. We've got support here that we've tested 4 times. So when we get back down to this area and we get a reversal, we go along. But I'm just hammering home the logic on it at the moment. Trade there. It's not quite right. So I will be working on that in the members streams. I think this is the type of strategy that's going to work much better on lower time frames with bigger support resistance zones. Not that big. That's too many in it. And they're too big. That's not going to work either. The trouble with the 3-bar reversal, which is something we covered in the member streams, is they are much more reliable on higher time frames, but you don't get many of them. This is the trouble. Quite a unique pattern in what it's telling you. And I've just been trying to figure out a way to kind of make them a bit more intelligent, but support and resistance is so discretionary. It's quite difficult to quantify what support and resistance actually should be, because obviously different people are going to look at it in different ways. But anyway, that's for another day. We'll come back to that. Euro CAD, Euro odd, can have a look at those. Nasdaq out the highs, 3-bar reversal on the DAX, pushing back up again. Euro odd. Are doing anything, is it? Sideways for the last 2 days. So Australian dollar is still pretty strong. Euro, not the strongest thing on the planet at the moment. So Euro, medium strength. Australian dollar, we're back to neutral actually now. Interesting. So yeah, should be, in theory, looking at more of a bullish stance on it, but pulling back at the moment. So last propulsion retest held, and obviously this propulsion gap here, which is this previous support, is now resistance. So you're stuck between these two areas here at the minute. There's a long signal back here. Other than that, no reason to get into this at all. I'd be looking for it to come and see if it can test the weekly, monthly support levels at 125 ADR. But it could go either way, this. Euro is kind of, I would class it as sort of neutral at the moment. But difficult to say. Euro CAD, nicely extended. Got nice divergence, bullish divergence building. So that looks good for longs, definitely. So if it doesn't bounce out of here, so your entry would have been here last week. Sorry, on Monday. Obviously, it's just pulling back down at the moment. So be looking for entry somewhere around here, if not already in it. And this propulsion gap to hold. And if it doesn't hold, there's your previous upside resistance. Return support. Coming down a lot there. So this move here that we've started after this pullback, that's what you're looking for a profit take leg on. But nice bullish divergence forming, so that should go at some point soon. Reversal alert's not far away. But Canadian dollar still bearish with the US. Nicely extended on the 4-hour look as well. But we'll see. Looks good. That looks good. Euro odd. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? This pair at the moment is just news event sideways, news event sideways, news event bounce. But you got a nice upside target there, nice upside target there. Obviously, this is your current resistance to the upside. So should be able to get to there or there at some point fairly soon. Afternoon, Junior. Is the members' streams on Zoom downloadable? I don't know. No idea. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Yes, they are. But they're going to be, I mean, the whole idea of doing these is they're interactive. So, you know, this is the current lesson. I'm going to be running it again next month and the month after. It's constant. We're just going to go through it over and over and over and again. So you basically, the idea is you come and do Zooms with me live, ask questions, interact, and then if you can't make it, you watch the replay and ask a question. We answer the questions in the Q&As. But it's constantly evolving content. So that is this month's indicator types lesson. Next month's indicator types lesson will cover the similar subject, but it'd be totally different because I don't have a script. I just deliver the content. So, you know, and it will be changing as well. This is what it currently looks like. Lesson plan. But this will evolve and change. You know, as I develop new strategies like this EA that I'm building at the moment, that might become a core strategy, in which case then if you're not in the members' streams live, you're not going to get that content. That's the whole point. It's trading. Trading's not static. I can deliver you a course, or you can buy a course, or you can download a course, but that course is obsolete in 3 months' time because the market is different. Markets change constantly. So you have to adapt. Different indicator settings. There's certain things which work all the time, which is what's covered in here. So yeah, you can download and keep whatever you want in there, but it will be replaced every time we run it. So the live calendar will be updated. When we get to the end of the course content, we start the course again. And it will change that way. And this is why I want to do it this way, because the position trading bootcamp is 5 years old now. on the website, on the market reversal, a market structure trader website, that bootcamp is 5 years old. Half of the content in there is obsolete. Don't do it anymore. Don't use it anymore. Completely different indicators and EAs now. Yeah. So the new position trading bootcamp, which will be constantly refreshed, will be constantly up to date. So new set files, new EAs, new variations of EAs, new indicators, all that sort of stuff. So it's all going to be up to date. So yeah, but it's like anything, isn't it? You download a course from 3 years ago. It's 3 years ago's course. It's not relevant. Might be relevant today, you know, but it's the same as ICT stuff. Yeah. Why do you think ICT keeps releasing new stuff all the time? Because it doesn't work. Keep recycling crap. At least my crap, I've been trading it for donkey's years. I just adapt it. TP's on its way on the NASDAQ. DAX, lovely big push out of the highs again. Continuation move on the DAX. Approaching ADR now, that DAX. Dow is back inside range. Please, can we see Euro odd, Euro CAD? I've literally just done those. Is everybody in the same thing? Euro odd, Euro CAD? Euro odd's coming down into support. Euro CAD is a little bit further off support. Another 3/4 of an ADR. So new content will eventually overload the old ones. Yeah. So basically these replays will be here for you to watch until they get rescheduled. And then there'll be new ones, new versions of them. Now, it's all on a calendar, which I will rotate. This is kind of a little bit of an experimental run, this, because it's I'm getting a feel for how quick it takes, how long it takes to go through. But, you know, you look at the length of these lessons, there's very little that's under an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So if you think we're doing 3 lessons a week, 4 lessons a week at the moment, the cycle's going to roughly, I think, be every 2 months or so. It will all get completely refreshed with new versions. So by the time we've gone through this next week and the week after, that's only a week. That's going to be 2 weeks. Backtesting, I've got recorded stuff I'm probably going to dump in there, I think. So this is going to be, I reckon, probably a 2 to 3 month cycle. But it means it will never be out of date. But, you know, the reason I charge 49 quid for this is because it's me. That's what you pay for. You're accessing me to ask questions. Anybody can record a video. And you know, I could get AI to type out a script for every single one of these lessons, get AI to record it, put a load of visuals in it and pump it out onto YouTube. Doesn't help anybody if you can't ask a question. This is the thing. This is not really a lesson. It's more of a, you know, if you get everything that I say and you understand it all, brilliant. But if you don't, you can ask a question. You can't ask a question on YouTube. You can't ask a question of a PDF. You can't ask the question of a course recorded three years ago that you've downloaded a video file of. That's the difference. I learnt 90% of what makes me work today from a mentor that I spent years with every day. That's how I learned to trade. Anyone can watch a video and read a book. It makes you knowledgeable, but it doesn't make you a good trader because you're still going to make the same stupid mistakes over and over and over again because you don't know certain things. And, you know, a lot of what I'm planning to do in the Q&As is, you know, look at trades, look at ideas, look at strategies and things, and, you know, you pick holes in them. So it's the interactive part of it that is, I think the valuable part. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, it's just I'm trying this because I think it's a better way to deliver content. You know, I'm not here to make money out of YouTube and pump a lesson out and hopefully get 30,000 views in the first week and earn whatever. Not interested in that. Obviously, I'm always interested in money, but doesn't help anybody, does it? TP hit. God, that took a while, didn't it? Let's get a bit worried then. TP hit, NASDAQ. So break even should be kicking in as well in a minute. So nice move on the NAS, very nice clean break. One bearish candle on that so far. DAX out into new highs as well. Almost at ADR on the DAX. Good moves. Is the new support resistance strategy similar to Zone Trader? It's not a new support resistance strategy. This basically, one of the guys in the Danny in the members streams said he was struggling to find a 3-bar reversal indicator. So I said I'd build him one. And then I thought it's better to build an EA because then you can test it and back test it and tweak it. And then I thought I'll add some support resistance zones in. And now I've gone down a rabbit hole and I can't get out. I've been coding it all morning, which is what I love doing. These are all far too big. How many bars in a day on an M15? 2 days. So yeah, it's not a new strategy. It's just price action at support and resistance. That's all it is. But I've wanted actually to build a support and resistance indicator for a while. A good one, I would class, what I would say is a good one. But it's like I said before, it's very difficult to quantify support and resistance. Yeah, see, that's taken a turncoat, which it shouldn't do. Logic's not right. As with everything, I've broken the logic because I've been tinkering, should I say. Been tinkering with it. And when you tinker with things, it's like cars. Open the bonnet up to do one thing, and then you tinker with something else, and then that breaks, and then something else doesn't work, and you end up breaking everything. Yeah, see, that should have traded that resistance. And it didn't. I need to fix that. But it's the 3-bar reversal identification, which is what it's designed to do. Yeah, 3-bar reversal at resistance. So it's just I haven't quite got the qualification of resistance right yet. It's identifying it. So previous resistance turns support twice. Yeah, previous resistance turns support twice. Previous resistance turns support 3 times. Yes, that's all it does. Finds support, and it says if we get back there and we put in a 3-bar reversal, take a trade, because we're looking for it to repeat. Do it over and over and over again. But it's very much in development. Very much in development. Okay, break even on the NASDAQ. So 3/4 taken, the rest of it's locked in for a runner. So the runner today on the NASDAQ, you're probably not, depending, I mean, it's FOMC this evening, so, or not. I would suspect we will probably test this resistance, and the speed of that move, I would say, we'll probably get at least a bounce off of it if we get there. So just watch somewhere around here for a resistance bounce, That's your support. Obviously, the initial open as well could act as support. Moving nicely, as is the DAX, almost ADR, very, very close to an ADR. I'm just going to whack that right up. Just using that as an exit. We're at ADR, so I'm expecting some kind of exhaustion to come in on that DAX. Take that one off. So shooting star going in on the NASDAQ. Got 1 minute to go on that candle. There you go. So rejection starting to show on the NAS. Got propulsion gap here, which could act as a sort of flag break. Either that, or we're going to come down and test this area, or here. If it reverses. So that's the start of a 3-bar reversal. If we were talking in the members group yesterday, no, Monday, or whenever it was, I can't remember when it was. But you know, that is your aggressive entry. If you visualize the future of what's going to happen next, that's your aggressive entry. If you're right, that's your additional trade. If you're wrong, stop out on that candle, don't you? Because if this is a 3-bar reversal, it's not going to invalidate that high. It is going to close lower. It's not. It's a tiny, 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 tiny risk, isn't it? The reward, 4R, 5R maybe. Strong market today, though. So just watch this NASDAQ. Again, for exit, if you're long, we close down here, probably worth taking it, because you're either going to take a break even on it, if it is going to be an exhaustion point, or you might get more out of it. I don't know, but it's very, very tired, isn't it? Market's very heavy. Question, do you take trades based off the ORB on the NAS and the DAX entries, then enter the same time on the futures pair, matching the CFD? Yes. Yeah. Price action on this is exactly the same as on futures. Price is different, but the price action is within reason virtually the same. You get slightly different wicks every now and again. I notice on the futures market, you know, so that wick there on the futures market might be there or it might be there, but it is still a hammer. Yeah. So you get the occasional higher high, higher low, which is ever so slightly different. But other than that, yeah. So I use Duplicium trade copier. So basically every trade that's taken on here is mimicked onto the futures. There's lots of trade copiers out there. But Duplicium works. Reversal going in on the DAX. So this is textbook 3-bar reversal at highs. No left, nothing to the left, no resistance to use. So basically just going off of ADR. So we're just at ADR basically at the minute. So this is ADR exhaustion potentially. There you go. NASDAQ rejection. I'm going to take that off. 2 minutes left on this candle. I will wait until the candle closes. Can you drop that in the members club? Or Duplicium? Yeah. Trade-copier.com. Why can't I chat on there? I'll put it in the members group. Yeah, that's the one I use. But there's it's about not much. 10 quid an account, something like that. But there's lots of these out there, but they don't all do MT5 to futures. A lot of them do futures to futures, and a lot of them do MT5 to C trader and things like that. But this one, Duplicium, does all of them. Does every there you go. MT4, MT5, C Trader, TradingView, LMAX, FXCM, Vortex, Ninja Trader, Tradeovate, DX Trade. The other one, which is Project X, which is what Top Step uses, and a couple of other prop firms now starting to use Project X. They don't cover this one, but there are others that do Project X. So what you can do, if you've got a Top Step account which uses Project X, what you can do is use MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5 for the opening range breakout EA, copy it over to Tradeovate, which is what I use for Top Step, for Take Profit Trader, and for Lucid, who's the other futures firm that I use. And then you can use one of the other trade copiers to copy from Tradeovate into Project X for Top Step. So you'd have two trade copiers set up. But I think these guys will do Project X at some point soon as well. Who knows? I was going to build my own, but for 20 quid. Well, it's actually, well, about 12, it costs about 12 quid an account. I'm just going to take an executive decision and shut the NASDAQ up there. Look at the DAX. Off again. So I'm done on the NAS. It's been a really good day profit-wise. So I'm just locking it all in today, because yesterday was a bit choppy. Okay, so NASDAQ's coming back down again. DAX is holding. There you go. So that 3-bar reversal there. Yeah. If you're short, nice rejection going in again there. So it is a higher high, higher low at the moment. Could go either way, the DAX. NASDAQ, yeah, lovely reversal pattern. Lovely reversal pattern there. You have a discount code? No. I don't for Duplicium, unfortunately. They don't. I've got discount codes for futures platforms, but they don't have an affiliate program which I can sign up for. Because when you sign up as an affiliate, you then tend to get discount codes as well, which is why I kind of do it. Obviously, it makes me a bit of money on the side as well, but it's also to get those discount codes. But they don't do affiliates, so I can't get a discount code for them. But have a Google, you might be able to find something. But it's not a lot of money. So, but I can vouch for them. I mean, it's instant. The copying is instant. Literally, as soon as the ORB trade goes in, I hear the order filled on Tradeovate, literally within milliseconds. So they are really, really good. The back end is a little bit clunky. I would say it's not clunky. I'm not going to screenshots of it, are they? There you go. It's not very good. So it's a little bit, looks a little bit old-fashioned in the way that you set it up, but I'm not that bothered about the graphical user interface. It's more, does it work? Yes, it works instantly. So you just set up your master account, which is MT5 in this case, and it's copying over onto, in that case, an MT4. So it's an MT5 to an MT4, but you can set up as many slaves as you want. You can also set different risk per account. You can take contrarian trades. So think prop. Yeah. If you set up an account with one prop, set up an account with another prop, you can set one to go short, one to go long every time an order is executed. Not that you're allowed to do that because the prop firms say you can't. Good. And you can also flick them on and off, which is the other thing that I really like. So here, for example, you've got the copier status on. It doesn't show you, but further down there is, oh, this is the slave account. Yeah. So when you have multiple slave accounts, basically, what you can do is you can flick each one on and off. So one of the main strategies I use in prop is to start evaluations on different days of the week. So that if you have a bad run, you only have a bad run, a portion of the bad run on each account. Yeah. So if you start 5 evaluations on a Monday and you have a bad run for 3 days, you have a bad run on everything. If you start 5 evaluations on in a week, one on a Monday, one on a Tuesday, one Wednesday, one Thursday, one Friday. If Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's crap, by Friday, say you have a Thursday and a Friday, which are awesome, you only get the crap on one of the accounts. The second account gets a little bit of crap and a little bit of good. The third account gets a tiny bit of crap, lots of good. The fourth and the fifth account get nothing but good. Yeah. So if you split your evaluations over different days, you will get diversification regardless of what the market does. The strategy has an edge long term, but the edge doesn't play out constantly. So you have drawdown. So what I do is I flick different copiers on and off each day to make sure that they're out of sync. That way I'm running the same strategy, but spread differently across all of the trading accounts, basically. And also with some of them, like with Apex, for example, they have no minimum days. So with Apex, you can treble the risk or double the risk to try and get the evaluation over the line faster. So when you hit a good couple of days, like today, great example today, yeah? So if you'd have started an evaluation today and you traded the NASDAQ and the DAX today, you've done at least half of your evaluation, done. We've got 2 clean breaks, pretty much to ADR, and a nice 2R there in full. So you've got probably what have we got today? So 2, 4, about 6R, 5R, 6R today. So if you risk 1,000 and your target's 3,000, passed. So with some of them, you can adjust the risk as well to be more aggressive, and some of them lower risk. When you get the funded accounts, drop the risk. Yeah, make sure you don't blow the account. You need to weather those dips that you're going to get. But there's a million ways to trade prop. There's lots of different strategies for trading prop. But just doing one account straight in, and then if you pass, brilliant, trade it. If you fail, start again, doesn't work. Drives you mad because you'll constantly lose the accounts. Because the market does not go, oh, hang on, I need him to have a good run. The market does what the market does. It will go choppy for 3 days in a row. If you take 9 stop outs in a row, which you will, 10, 12 stop outs in a row, that's the difference between passing and blowing an account. But if you take 12 stop outs in a row over a period of 2 to 3 days and you spread it with different accounts on different days, only one of those accounts is going to get all the stop outs. The second account will get some of the stop outs. The third account will get a tiny amount of stop outs. But the other two accounts won't have any of those stop outs. And stop outs don't go on forever. You don't get, very, very, very rarely you will ever get more than 3 losing days in a row, if that. Yeah. So if you start an evaluation on each day of the week, you can guarantee one of them is getting over the line. You're going to pass one, aren't you? As long as you're using positive risk reward. Go in here. I've already done this. I've already done this lesson. Go in here and model it. Model it. See how many times you will pass evaluations with different strike rates, with different risk reward ratios. Yeah, all of a sudden now you've only passed 11. Why? Because you dropped your risk reward ratio and your strike rate's not as good. Let's say you have a really bad strike rate. You're not going to pass anything. But if you put your risk reward up to 2.25, suddenly you're passing them all. It's the difference between 2.25R and 1.75R is passing 18 or passing 6. Yeah? It's 3 times more accounts passed because you're using an extra 0.5% reward. That's the difference on a chart between taking your profit here and here. Yeah? 18 passes, 6 passes. Not difficult. You just need the maths. That's what Duplicium is really good at. It gives you that ability to spread and duplicate yourself across multiple accounts, which is where the money's made. DAX is accumulating up at the highs here. We're stalling out a little bit, but we are forming an ascending wedge. So it looks like it wants to go higher. NASDAQ as well. Could go either way, couldn't it? It's still pushing the futures, NASDAQ. Can you show how to set up properly? No. Watch their videos, not mine. It's not my company. You just watch the videos. Go to YouTube. Go to Duplicium Trade Copier. Shush. There's all the tutorials. They're all there. But one thing I would say is just test it. Yeah, when you set it up, just test it. I can cover it in one of the streams, maybe, but maybe we'll stick it in as a lesson in the prop. We're going to cover the multi-account approach anyway, but I could put a lesson in there. I mean, this is the thing, it's different. If you're trading CFDs and not trading futures, then you don't need a trade copier, because all you're doing is you're setting up multiple MT4 terminals, multiple MT5 terminals, and you're just trading one on each. So you only really need a trade copier if you're trading futures. But I've traded futures for years on prop without a trade copier. So all I do is I sit here with MT4, MT5, or whatever it is I have trading ORB. And basically, as soon as it gets there, I just press the buy button on my terminal over there. Yeah, and if it stops out, I press the sell button on my terminal over there. Do it manually. But it depends how much time you've got. Obviously, the thing with Duplicium, it means you don't have to spend any time in front of the charts if you don't want to. But I don't believe in that. I believe you should be watching. Yeah, that might be the right decision to make today, to take that all off. It might be the wrong decision to make, but it's the decision I've made, and it's the decision I've made everywhere. Because I pressed that button there, my futures accounts have also closed that trade for me. So, if this comes crashing down now, which potentially it could, back down into here, if you're on full automation, you're going to take a break even. I haven't taken a break even. I've taken more profit. That's discretion, isn't it? Everybody's different. I was just going to look at oil quickly. Somebody messaged me yesterday, I think it was, on Discord about oil, because I said about the $60 barrel bounce last week when we were looking at oil, and I said, the market finds it hard to sustain prices below $60 a barrel because it's just not economical. So what happens is OPEC tends to strangulate supply at this level to make sure that prices are maintained, or rather the Saudis get OPEC's arm and stuff it up behind their back and make them do it. But we did get the $60 barrel bounce. Look. We just had a reversal alert as well. Look on the 4 hour. So watch these propulsion gaps here. If you want to try and get a long on oil. I don't think we're going to push much higher than that. There's no reason to at the moment, but there is definitely a reason to stay above 60, and there's definitely a reason to stay within that range. So looking to push up into there. Commodity prices are going through the roof at the moment. Obviously gold and silver out at all-time highs. Stalling out at the moment, gold. Expanding wedge. That could go absolutely anywhere from there. Problem I had with copying is the different price levels and spread. One would stop and the other not. Well, you don't copy the price level, you copy the execution. So in Duplicium, there are no TPs and no stop losses copied at all. It copies the trade. So when my MT5 terminal executes a trade, it executes the same trade at that point on the other platform. Price doesn't come into it. It'll execute a long or a short instantly at whatever price is available. Yeah. So, and then when my terminal in MT5 hits a stop loss or a TP, it closes them. Instantly, it closes it on the other terminals. So there's no physical stops or take profits entered onto anywhere else. My terminal is the master. My terminal executes and closes trades. The others do what they're told. They get told to go long by X lots or short by X lots. They don't get told where to get out or place stop losses. You can, if you want to, copy the TP and stop loss levels. But if you do that, you'll have problems because obviously different brokers won't allow you to place them within certain distances. If you're trading futures, for example, you cannot place a stop loss in a traditional way because you have to place the opposite order. So just don't do it. Just literally let it take the trades. Don't copy anything else over. Just execute. Just copy the execution, which is instant. And that way you don't get requote troubles or anything like that. Spreads are irrelevant, really. There is no, in futures, there's no spread. There's a one tick spread. There's constantly a one tick spread. Every now and again, you might spread to two. But CFDs, obviously, yeah, you can have different variations in spread, but you just take the trade. Yeah. If the trade moves from, if you get in here on RoboForex and on Global Prime, I get executed there. Yeah. When it pushes up to there and RoboForex closes that trade, Global Prime might close it there. It might close it there. It might close it there. Does it matter? Closed it. You're closing it because it's moved in your direction. If the spread gives you a different result like that, you're going to get a different result. That's all you're getting is slightly different result. Same as back test. You do a back test, you're never going to get the same result in a forward test. Yeah, you're never going to be able to simulate exact trading conditions. So don't worry too much about the intricacies of it. It's not, you can't control that. Just get in and get out. High's been taken out on the DAX, but rejected. Stalled. Not doing gold anymore. Not at the moment, no. Not while it's doing this. I've turned it off at the minute. It's like a beast. So I've just turned it off for the minute because I don't want to trade it while it's in this parabolic move. This move here, if you look at the dollar, it's weak, but it's orderly at the moment. The dollar, it's strong but orderly at the moment. We've got a strong dollar because everything is coming down against the dollar. Yeah, but gold is parabolic. So this is the commodities markets on an absolute rampage. Whenever you're out at all-time highs, and to be honest, it's the worst time to start trading ORB on gold. It's worked quite nicely, but I've noticed over the last few days it's choppy at the open because we're getting these parabolic moves, but they're not timed at the moment at the open. They're just parabolic all the time. So the market is just buying up gold, which is slightly worrying because the whole purpose and the whole ethos behind the opening range breakout strategy is momentum at time. We know when the move is coming. That's why we don't trade it on forex, ADR and DAX. On gold, it was working at the open. It's not at the minute while the market's like this. I don't trade gold normally, so this is kind of just an observation at the moment I'm seeing. So just trading the three indices at the moment, the DAX, the NASDAQ and the Dow, gives me that diversification. Gold was added as an additional diversification, but I'm not seeing the 5-minute breakouts at the minute. And I wasn't seeing it for the last 2 days as well. So I decided to turn it off for the minute. Just while this is going mad like this, I haven't really, to be honest, done enough back testing on gold. I have done some back testing using a 1-minute strategy, which I've transferred over into the 5-minute strategy, and it seems to back tests seem to work quite nicely. But it's a little bit like the FTSE in the fact that it is very hit and miss because it will go into these massive trendy moves, but they don't start. Yeah, if you look at this is a great example actually for the last 3 days. Look. It doesn't start at a time. It just is continuous market structure to the upside like this. So whereas when you look at a stock index, yeah, it goes at 8 o'clock and at 2:30. Yeah, a little bit like that one. Yeah, that will be your New York Open there. Okay, 16:30, exactly 2:30 p.m., exactly 9:30 a.m. That is an opening range breakout. However, if you look at the other days around that time, we're not getting that explosive move, which is what we want to benefit from. Kind of only seems to be happening in pullbacks, doesn't it? Yeah, just for the minute, just while we're up at these all-time highs and like this, this is a parabolic move. Also, I'm position trading this at the moment. Part of the problem with position trading gold, which I am now discovering, is obviously the lot sizes for gold are incredibly small in comparison to forex. So where I'm trading a 10k account, this is actually taking 0.01 lots. So it's actually over leveraged on a 10k account. So it's very difficult to trade. I'm in drawdown on this at the minute, massively on drawdown. So I'm thinking twice about trading this on the position trading strategy as well. I've got it trading on that small 10 grand account, which is also copied over with low risk onto my main account. But even with low risk, it's high risk, if you see what I mean. It's all coming back to me why I don't trade gold and oil. Funnily enough. Doesn't matter what I do with it. Whenever I try and trade it, it stings me in the backside. Very big upside rejection at ADR. So we just got that ADR alert a second ago on the DAX. Big upside rejection just gone in. So potential 3-bar reversal again at exhaustion. So that one didn't work. Potential for a second attempt. We also completely stalled out on the NASDAQ. Rubbish. Most prop firms want a stop loss. No, not in my experience. If they do, move, change. Don't use one. If it requires a stop loss, don't use it. You know why they want a stop loss, don't you? Exactly why my forex funds got investigated. Yeah. You tell them where your stop loss is, they will hunt your stop loss. But there's loads of prop firms that don't require a stop loss. Oh God. Just take me to the FTMO website. There we go. Just want to go to FTMO. I don't want to go to my client area or affiliate area or anything else. Just want to go to FTMO. Yeah, I mean, FTMOs don't need them, do they? For CFDs, there's no futures platform that requires them at all. Not that I've come across anyway. I've never come across a futures futures one that requires a stop. I know some prop firms do. City Traders Imperium, they do require a stop. They used to anyway. I mean, they might have changed now. Who trade without a stop loss usually don't last long. Using a stop loss help protect your account and encourage smart risk. Trading without a stop loss, What happens if I don't? It's a soft breach. So don't trade with City Traders Imperium. If you're copy trading, if you're not, but this is the thing. Like I say, if you're trading CFDs, you don't need a copy trader, do you? Because you just set up multiple terminals and you run the EA on each terminal, and it trades like normal. So you run the opening range breakout EA, and it just trades. The only time you really need a copy trader is if you're trading futures, and futures does not require stop losses. So you're fine. There's no such thing as a stop loss in futures. In futures, it's an exit order, isn't it? Yeah. In futures, if you buy, you have a sell order in the market to get out of equal size. So it is a stop loss in effect, but it's not in the traditional sense of the word. I've got 3 minutes left on this candle on the DAX. So you've got an ADR reversal going in now. $125 ADR is one ADR from the open today as well. So getting tired. Lock a bit more in. Right, I will leave it there today. Back on Friday morning. So the other streams this week are Friday morning. We've got the members stream, which we're covering. We're not covering that. We're covering that. In the Q&A session, we will try and cover that, I think. So I haven't looked at how many Q&As I've got this week. If there are any, I will have a look. But we will do the Q&A session, obviously, after the New York session. So this is on YouTube, 2:30 on Friday. And then we'll do the Q&A session after that. And hopefully we'll try and do the backtesting basics as well. So it's not going to be an in-depth session that. I've done an entire week's worth of sessions on backtesting and robustness testing. It's not a subject you can cover in an hour. It's 10 hours. So I've got all that content on the members area in YouTube. So what I'm going to probably do is download those streams and put them into the members area here somehow. I haven't quite figured out how yet. And then basically you will have the basics, which you can then go off and use. So it's just about identifying kind of the important things to look for in backtests. So, you know, just doing a backtest is fine, but it's about identifying how you're curve fitting your backtest. And it's about how to interpret the data you export from that backtest, which is obviously the important thing. And robustness testing is what we're going to cover, which is basically system parameter permutation testing, or rather the optimizer, as they call it, for some reason in here. Worst ever terminology you could use in a strategy tester or a strategy development environment. Optimization, curve fitting, you should call it. Basically, let's optimize it and find the best possible result. Let's not do that, because that's the worst thing you can do. So it's just about identifying what you need to do, basically, to make sure that you've got a strategy that's going to work in the future. So that's really all that's about, the basics of it. Nice reversal going in, 3-bar reversal on the DAX at ADR. So this is your second 3-bar reversal. Obviously, this one is actually at ADR. So if we get another bear candle going in, which you're missing it, you need to press the button now if you're going to get into that. But yeah, looking good for pullback on that. It's very exhausted. Right. There we go. Have a good one. Your time and knowledge are appreciated. Cool. Always good to know. Right, so I'll be back on Friday. Anything you need, obviously let me know. I'll be in the members stream, or I'll be in Discord, etc. So I'll be around if you need. Other than that, I'll be back on Friday. So have a good day.